So my first question for you, and I'll give the two most common answers right away. What are you? How do you see yourself in the world? There's no right and wrong answers, okay? The first thing I hear
Small.
is a man and a woman. Okay, you said small? Okay, so we have small. Who else? Who else has an answer? Come on, you all see yourself in the world. Your careers. How many of you live in your careers? How many of you, your whole identity is your career? What is your career?
Payroll.
Okay, so you're a payroll specialist.
Director.
A director. Okay, you're a director. Okay, who else?
Mother.
What?
Parent.
A parent. Good one.
Teacher.
Okay, teacher. Pardon my writing. I don't. It doesn't get any better. It's gotten worse.
Caregiver.
A caregiver. Okay, that's a tough one. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because there's other things I want to get on, but this is to prove some points.
Single.
Single. Okay. Okay. There's two others that come up very commonly.
Friend.
Okay. One would be gay. And would be straight. And I'm not going to add the other 900. I don't need to for the point. Okay. What else? Is there anything else that somebody, how they view themselves? There's some common ones.
Work in progress.
A friend, okay. Okay, we also have a mother. Under a man, we'd have a father. Okay, we'd have a son. Okay, a woman, we have a mother. And we have a daughter. Okay. If this is how we focus on who we are, if I am in this box, how do you relate to somebody who's in another box?
You don't.
Exactly. You don't relate. Because we put ourselves into boxes. And society puts us into boxes. And we're brought up to think that way. Now, I don't care your political views. All right? If I say Trump, you either had a positive reaction or a very negative reaction. Why? Because conservatives are in a box and liberals are in a box, right? And when you turn on the news media, what do they highlight? The negative extremes of either side. In reality, and this topic is, since it's so prevalent today, it's easy to talk about. Okay, in reality, we have one side, we have the other side, we have a middle. Now, if you break down all the bits and pieces of each individual person, you're going to see a commonality in here. But society has drawn a line about here and about here. And we do this every way, and I'll explain to you why it's being done in a moment. So you can list all these items that people from here and people from here can all sit down and agree on. They may not agree how to get to saving the environment, but very few people I know really want polluted water to drink. You know, I'd like to meet if they really want polluted water to drink. Everybody wants clean water. Everybody wants clean air. Everybody wants a nice house to live in. Everybody wants low taxes. This is things that we go to. Now, let's back up. And I want to say, if you're a veteran, thank you. I appreciate your service. I couldn't have this talk without veterans. But in order for veterans to survive, when they go into military training, they have to change their focus. And their focus is to dehumanize the enemy. And it's the only way they can shoot somebody. If I said to one of you, I'm Dave, I've got 2 sons, I'm on my 2nd marriage, I take care of my 87-year-old mother. I'm a business owner, had employees, and all that stuff. And I tell you a little bit about my life. A little harder to kill me than saying to Jackal, you go kill a jackal. You go kill a crowd. You go kill a yank. You go kill a rebel. Now they have to do it to survive, but our media does it to us today. The media puts us in a box where we dehumanize each other. And I've given you the answer. So remember that, put a check mark, that when we talk about what we really are. Racially, same thing happens. Every time you use a racial word, you're putting somebody into a box. Now, we're in this society. It comes up and you can't prevent it. But the idea is to catch yourself when you get a trigger word that you think about. Do you go and say, oh, that's a trigger word. That person is really more than that. They're everything we wrote. Okay, they're mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, granddaughters, grandsons. They're teachers. I mean, everybody is part of all that. But is our focus on the one little area, or is our focus on the person? So that when you want to relate to people, you have to take the person as an individual, not the box you're seeing them in. So if I am a coach, I used to coach soccer for my kid, right? I was a football player. Don't ask me why I was coaching soccer, but nobody volunteered. But they only knew me as a soccer coach, and they expected the world from me. I'll be happy I'm here working with your kids. The fact is that all I was to them was a coach, and that's all they could see me as. But they didn't see me as a parent. And this goes for anything else in life. When you meet somebody at the job, let's say you're shopping, and you go up to a cashier, and the cashier is having a bad day. She's got a little bit of an attitude. Yeah. Especially this time of year. Imagine being a cashier on Black Friday. Some of you may be, all right? I worked in retail for 10 years. I get it. I am always kind to every person I meet. I will always try to make somebody smile and make their day better. Life is like a drop of water. So if you take a drop of water and you drop it into a pond, that drop hits and the ripples go out. And those are the vibrations of that drop of water. Now, there's been studies with water. And you can go online. Anything I say, you can go and look and research. I'm not going to give you details. If you're a detail-oriented person, we'll talk about it later. But you can research anything. Water and food, if you give it praise and talk good to it, it changes into a snowflake type pattern. It's called sacred geometry. If you talk bad to it, it looks cancerous. So when you talk and you relate to people, when you're giving them toxic words, or if you're angry or something like that, you're spreading that cancerous energy. When you spread kindness and happiness and joy, you're spreading that good. How many of you believe in karma? Half the room. Okay. Now, karmically, let's talk about what comes back to you. Because what you think about and what you focus on is what you become. Remember your parents telling you not to hang out with somebody because you would end up like them and they were a bad influence on you? How many of you had parents tell you that? Okay, I had parents tell me that. You do, and we'll talk on these boxes. If you're with a group, and I'll get into it a little later on, a little deeper, if you are always hanging around with the same people with the same thoughts, you start patterning their thoughts. So if you hang out with toxic people, and let's face it, family can be the worst. We all have a family member that can get under your skin and you really want to leave behind. So if you're always with these toxic people, it's going to be hard to get beyond that. And we'll dive more into what people think and what drives them in a couple of minutes. So think about the energy you're sending out with people and how many people you interact with, of how you know who they are and what they are, or if they're just somebody that you're demanding something from. You can demand with kindness, and you can demand with anger. It's up to you on how you do it. And what you do is going to come back to you. I love driving anymore because I have totally changed my perspective. Now, I'm a fast driver. When I go down the road, I don't like people poking. But I've learned to watch karmically what happens to people going down the road. And if somebody cuts in front of me and doesn't get out of the way, I can guarantee you within 1 mile, somebody will do the same thing to them, even worse. Time in and time out, any more I see it. It's absolutely amazing. The worse your attitude gets, the worse the energy that you're attracting is coming to you. So if you just go, I'm late, but I can still make it. Or maybe go, I got enough time, I'll make it. And you go with an attitude of you will accept whatever comes your way. You'll find your commute so much better. Just stay off of 78. So, do people see what I'm talking about with putting people in a box? Worse, you're putting yourselves in a box. Now, let's talk about marriages with children. Suddenly, you're parents. And that is the biggest, the scariest thing, because I haven't seen a baby yet with an owner's manual. I'm waiting for them to pop out with them. But before the child was born, you were lovers, you were friends, you had other friends without kids. You did different things, and you had hobbies, and you had all these other things. Are you living in the parental box and forgetting everything else? So if you're in the mom box and he's in the dad box, and then you got the career box, what's with the two of you? Where do you come together? There's no more blending because you've isolated yourselves. Add into that expectations. And it's even worse because now you're projecting your blueprints that you grew up with onto the other person and not giving them the freedom to be themselves. So now we're going to get into, what are we? This is a simple slideshow. Okay, what am I? First and foremost, we're all Americans. Okay? I've got a friend over in Australia. Hopefully he's online watching. He's an Australian. All right? As Americans living in this country, we have such a huge commonality. Think about it. We have the country, and we all care about the country. So now we all have something in common. You just dropped all the barriers that there are for everybody in this country if we focus that we are all Americans. We're all New Jerseyans before Americans. And we can all bitch about the taxes in this state. We've got something in common there. So there's something to think about. I'm a citizen of the planet Earth. Why do I put this here? I'm an Earthling. Some people believe we're not alone. I don't care what you believe, all right? But there's room to believe whatever you want. Some people believe we're not alone, and there's been other people here before us. I'm a human being. This is the answer I gave to you. We're all humans. Some people don't act it, but they're still human. They will learn their life lessons in time, whether it's this lifetime or another. They'll find out the hard way. I am soul. If you don't believe we're soul, stop at human beings. I'm not here to teach you what your beliefs are. But in reality, if you believe in an afterlife, and if you believe in reincarnation, which you can, or you might not, we are all the same. You can go as far to say, if you believe in reincarnation, we reincarnate both sexes and all races. We all have yin and yang energy in us. One's male, one's female. The question is, which dominating energy are you living in today? In order for a relationship to be good, everybody has to have a blend. Doesn't matter if it's a straight relationship, a gay relationship. You need a masculine energy and you need a feminine energy. And what's happening today, and this is a whole other topic, I'm just giving you a snippet on it, is that women have come into the workforce and become masculine at the workforce. And coming home to a masculine man, but not turning into the feminine energy. Men are becoming feminized, and everybody's lost because they don't know their place. Again, if you have two neutral people, you can get away with it. But if you have a strong male dominance, you need to have a strong female dominance. And there's a difference of power and control in the energies and how they're used. You can be powerful in the feminine as well as you can be power in the masculine. Just some food for thought. If we all focus on what we all want, we can all work together and you'd eliminate the divide that we have. Very few people are actually extreme in their views. There may be an oddball view that people have, but in reality, everybody has the same wants and needs. They just see things differently. If we eliminate the dehumanizing, then we can eliminate the great divide. So, just another little note, we are not humans with a soul body. We're soul in a human body. And I'll talk about that afterwards a little bit. But we're all equal because of it. And we're all bound by the human experience.